Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are finally doing the living room makeover. I'm so excited to share today's video with you all. I am just taking this clip from my home tour to show you guys kind of where we started with the living room. This is what it looked like before we moved in. We did have the whole house painted and I went through so many different white samples and I finally landed on White Duck by Sherwin-Williams and I am so happy with my decision. I truly feel like it is the perfect creamy white with a little bit of beigey yellow undertones, and it is just super gorgeous in this house with these floors. The first thing that I'm doing is of course adding a rug. Now, one thing I really wanted to do with this makeover is try to use a lot of the things that we already had because we were going to be purchasing so much furniture. I didn't want to spend a ton on decor, and when I originally ordered this rug, I ordered it in the sunset ink color and they accidentally sent the navy sand, but we went ahead and held on to it and just reordered the sunset ink color and kept this one because we knew we would use it for something. And then when we finally moved, we did bring it into this space. It is absolutely gorgeous. This is the Loli Morgan rug in navy sand and it just looks so good in here. And now we have all of our furniture in here. I did not film myself bringing the furniture into the room. It was just such a tedious process. But for the couch, we went with the Kennedy Power Reclining Sofa. This is in the cream color. It's by Living Spaces and it is so beautiful. And then we did do the matching chairs in a mocha color. Although I will say I feel like it pulls more gray than it does brown, but I still really love it. And what's great is this entire sofa reclines. So it's perfect for movie nights. It is so comfortable and we've just been really enjoying this sofa. And it is one of those reclining sofas that don't need a ton of clearance behind, so it can be almost against the wall, which I really loved that. And then for the end table, I am using the same table we had previously. It is quite damaged from my toddler. She would stick her Bluey figurines in here and create holes, but my plan is to cover that up with some books and you won't even see it. And then there is a little bit of water damage on the top as well. So we're just gonna put that to the back and that way it will be underneath of the lamp. And then for the TV console, I actually purchased two of these two-door cabinets from Target. And I really love them. I feel like for the price point, it was a really good deal. I believe I spent $400 on the entire thing. And I love that the doors themselves are kind of opened to allow ventilation for our Xbox that we have in there. And then I did add that little lamp warmer there on top. And then I am using the same coffee table we had previously. It is small for the scale of the room, but again, I'm really not trying to buy a ton of furniture and just using what we already have. One thing that I envisioned for this room was floor to ceiling curtains, and my husband was so nice and already put the brackets up for me because I had a really hard time reaching up here. But I went ahead and went with this dark flax color. I found these pinch pleated curtains off of Amazon for a really good price. They're very lightweight. They're perfect in here. I feel like they just add a really nice cozy ambiance to my living room, and I'm just really happy with the color that I chose because I was in between a cream color and these, and you guys voted on Instagram and pretty much everybody said to go with the dark flax color. I do have plans to steam these at some point, and we actually ordered Roman shades to put in here as well, which I will show you guys at the end of this video because they did come later this day and we went ahead and put them up. But when I was actually filming, they were not in the room, so like all of the after shots and everything don't have them, but I will be sure to insert a clip of them towards the end. And then here I'm just showing you guys a close-up of the curtains and the color. Again, I just think that these are so beautiful. In the corner of the living room, I am adding this basket from Makeover & Co. And then inside I am adding this Shady Lady tree that I found on Amazon for $80. It is a 7-foot tree and I feel like that is such a steal. It is a little bit wonky, you do have to fluff it quite a bit, and I feel like the stem is quite crooked, but with a little bit of elbow grease and like moving around all of the branches, you can make this tree look very beautiful. So I'm very happy with that. And then for the mantle, I'm adding in this picture from Hobby Lobby. You guys have probably seen this picture a million times, but I love it. And then paired with that, I'm adding in this also vase from Hobby Lobby. And then these stems, I couldn't really get to look quite right. So I placed them in there and then I went ahead and brought the vase down and played around with them and then put it back on the mantle. And I really love how it turned out. And then on the other side, I am just placing these candlesticks. Originally, I had left them empty, but I did go back in and add smaller white tapered candles. I didn't want them to be too tall, and I think it looks really, really good. And then the rocking horse, I just feel like didn't fit, so I did end up taking that out. I'm going to be using that in my baby boy's nursery instead. So you will see me kind of playing around with decor until I finally got it right. For the giant wall behind our couch, now we do have plans to do some kind of picture frame molding eventually, but that will be for another time. But for now, I went ahead and picked up this massive frame from Target. I believe I spent $50 on it. And then I got this print from Etsy and I printed it out at CVS for about $31. So all in all, I spent about $70 on this artwork, which I feel like is a really good deal. Doesn't look like the most high-end, like the print is definitely a little bit wrinkly in the frame, but I think it's really beautiful. You could also add some Mod Podge on the actual picture to give it some texture, and I might go back in and do that at some point. But for now, I really love how it turned out. And then on either side of the picture frame, I'm just adding in these black iron candle sconces and then just adding in some tapered candles into those. For pillows, I'm using this floral pillow that I picked up from Target, this chocolate pillow cover from Amazon, and then this striped one from Woven Nook. On the other side, we've got a pillow from Target, this scalloped pillow from Walmart, and then this other plaid pillow from Target. And I feel like that is one of my favorite pillow combinations I've done on my couch. It is so beautiful. And then for the TV console, I'm adding in these stacking boxes. The top one is perfect for remotes and anything that you might be using daily in your living room. I feel like these are great because they're really pretty, but they're also functional. And then next to that, I am stacking 2 coffee table books with a bowl on top and some Palo Santo inside of the bowl. And then next to my lamp warmer, I had a really hard time styling this corner. So I placed this little potted arrangement that was from Target a couple of years ago, and I couldn't figure out this tissue box. And you guys will see at the end what I ended up doing, but I wanted the tissues over here because again, it is my living room. We spent time as a family in here. It is sniffle season. I wanted them in the living room and I just couldn't figure out how to make it work, but I did end up making it work and it looks really cute. And then for the coffee table, I'm adding in this tray from Target, a coffee table book, and then this vase that I picked up from Target years ago, but I love it. It's a great staple that I use all the time. Adding in some of my favorite floral stems. I love to use these in fall, but I also really love to use them in late winter. I feel like they are perfect going into summer. And then I'm just adding a candle, some coasters, a wick snuffer, and then some matches. And then I picked up this blanket from Target from the Studio McGee collection this year, and it's definitely one of my favorite finds of this year. It is such a beautiful blanket, and I am just adding that to our chair. and that is actually going to wrap up my living room makeover. I absolutely love how my living room turned out. Again, I'm going to show you guys here what the room looks like with the Roman shades on it. Here's a little picture, but it just looks so good in here. I'm seriously in love with my living room. I was telling my husband, I cannot believe that this is our living room, like we live here. This is just something that I've always dreamed of and had this vision in my head of what I wanted this room to look like, and I feel like it really came to life. You guys will have to let me know what you think down below, what your favorite part is, and I just wanted to thank you guys so much for being here and for watching. And my next video hopefully will be my nursery makeover for baby Brooks's room, but I cannot wait to share that with you guys because I'm working on that right now as we speak, and I just love how this room turned out. But anyway, thank you again so much for watching and for being here, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.